Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Chronic spontaneous urticaria, or chronic hives with no known cause. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing pinball. Itchy, red bumps start on my arm, then my back. Sometimes my legs. Hives come out of nowhere. And it comes and goes. But I just found out about a treatment option at treatmyhives.com. Take that, chronic hives. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
Sunday morning with us is Hank Sheinkopf, a good friend, long-time Democratic strategist, and we just want to know what the heck is going on in New York and what's, for those of us who want to stay in New York, what's in store for us, Hank?
Well, thank you. First, John, thank you, and thank you to all your listeners for listening this morning. Look, it is a very difficult time for New York and for cities around the country. The Democratic Socialists mean exactly what they say, and there are some people who walk around and say, well, they really don't mean it. But the problem in our politics is that because we're such wonderful people, Americans, and we're so naive, we tend to say, oh, they really don't mean it. Well, listen to what the Democratic Socialists are saying and understand that they do mean it. And what that change will be, we've yet to see, but it won't be good for the things that a lot of us hold important.
Understood. Have you seen any progress? You're going to have a Jewish speaker, it looks like, of the city council, and you still have Governor Hochul in Albany, and you still have President Trump in Washington. Do you think there's enough checks and balances to make sure that the new mayor of January 1st does the right job?
Well, the real checks and balances, John, aren't necessarily those elected officials, but the fact that he's walking into a city with a significant budget problem, significant gap, a state that is likely to have a significant gap, and those will put checks on the kind of spending he wants to do. The problem is, what can he do besides that to damage the police department? He's already talked about cutting 1,000 cops. Not so good. Not so good. That would be a disaster. We're down lots of cops, and the nation will be looking to what happens here in New York. If they see that this Democratic social experiment is not working, more people are going to leave New York. We've already seen a tremendous exodus of jobs related to the financial sector into the Dallas-Fort Worth corridor and into Houston, where, frankly, business conditions are a lot better. Anything can happen here. We are at a point of real concern. New Yorkers should be anxious. People who care about the city should be anxious, and people who care about the American future should be very, very anxious.
And I'm concerned. I was down in Florida the other day, and Florida is booming.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Florida's booming. It's been booming for years. Why? People don't want to pay 12%. I guess the average person is probably saving 12% plus on taxes. That's only part of it. You don't have the crime. You don't have the crime. You don't have the chaos. You don't have the absolute anxiety, and you don't have the anti-Semitism that's rampant. It always begins with the Jews, John, but it never ends with the Jews. People should pay attention to what's happening in Nigeria today, where Christians are being murdered on a daily basis. They should look at the future and the past of Coptic Christians in Egypt, who are once the majority, who are not that anymore. They ought to be looking at what's going on in Sudan, or thinking about the 300,000 people that were murdered in Yemen, or the 600,000 people that were murdered in Syria, and stop focusing so much on Israel. It's just a kind of a what's the good word? It's a way to distract people from the real problem.
Well, we have serious problems. Is there anybody in the leadership of the National Democratic Party that is strong enough to take control?
It doesn't appear that way yet. I mean, there is a generational problem within the Democratic hierarchy. And there's also a basic ideological problem. It's not the Democratic Party you once knew, because the labor base that sustained it doesn't exist anymore. We don't have that many people in organized labor. Labor served as an enforcement mechanism within the Democrat Party. It's not there anymore. So who's going to try to turn this into something that works? Who's got the capacity to do that, and who's the loudest voice? We don't know yet. But the battle between the Bernie Sanders wing and everybody else is a very significant one. It's the left versus the center and the Democrats. And who is the Bill Clinton of this generation that can save the Democrats by pulling them back to the center? We don't know who that person is yet. And frankly, John, we don't know if that person really exists.
Well, Hank Sheinkopf, I guess we should continue talking every week and just until we find a solution.
Well, America's worth saving if we have chaos and if we cannot correct the tax code and the other things that are causing some of the chaos we're experiencing. This country will be a very different place long after you and I are gone, John, and it won't be the kind of country that we would have wanted our children to see and the kind of country we wanted to have left behind.
Hank Sheinkopf, what I'm worried about, Rome made it for 800 years. I'm not sure the United States will make it for 300.
God should protect this extraordinary nation, which has made good citizens throughout the world into one creed. You see, the damage, John, I'd close it up this way, is being done not to what America stands for, but what the creed of America stands for, which is opportunity and possibility and equality for people, no matter where they come from, who they are. And that is being lost in this schism of faith and anger and hatred. And frankly, it cannot sustain itself over time. It just can't.
Traditionally, in the United States of America, immigrants came in that wanted to assimilate and become Americans. Right now, migrants are coming in that are considered invaders and want to change it to their way of life, not the American way of life.
That's true. You can't have, we have to, even if we restored civics, I don't know if we could change that. I mean, if you look at what happened in Michigan, Michigan City a few weeks back, where a non-Muslim was chastised for demanding to have, things work in an American kind of way as opposed to a religious kind of way. The beauty of America is that religion was part of, and practice thereof was part of our freedom and part of our ability, but to dominate others was not. And that is the crisis we face, John. Simple and clear. Is that going to be resolved or not?
Hank Sheinkopf, let's continue the conversation. Thank you for coming on this Sunday morning.
Thank you, John, and thank you to your listeners.
Thank you.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Payne Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.